Imagine a world where a nuclear war wiped out everything you knew. No electricity, families torn apart, death and despair everywhere you looked. But here's the thing, sometimes in the darkest moments, hope finds a way to survive. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, a botanist named Lime Simmet discovered nature's miracle that would save humanity, but at a terrible cost. What's up, everyone? If you're into mind-bending sci-fi and stories about survival against impossible odds, you're gonna love this one. Hit that subscribe button because we've got some incredible movie breakdowns coming your way. Let's jump right in. Our story begins 65 years after a catastrophic nuclear war turned the thriving world into a pile of rubble. Overnight, the lights went out, people were separated from their loved ones, and darkness, both literal and metaphorical, consumed everything. But in the dense jungles of the Amazon, botanist Lime Simmet made a discovery that would change everything. He found the Genesis tree. This wasn't just any ordinary tree, it was a miracle, a plant that could absorb deadly radiation and convert it into pure energy. The tree's glowing blue flowers brought light back to the world. But this gift came with a price that would permanently alter the future of humanity. The effects of the war ran deep. 90% of children were now being born with severe genetic disorders. To save these kids and give them a chance at a normal life, scientists did something radical. They extracted DNA from the Genesis flower and combined it with human DNA, then injected it into pregnant mothers. The result? Modified children who are absolutely perfect. These kids, called genetics, had abilities that were 10 times better than regular humans. Better hearing, better vision, better at literally everything. And soon, genetics became treated like royalty. 90% of babies were now born as genetics. But what about that remaining 10%? Those whose DNA rejected the Genesis flower modification. They were born normal, just like you and me. And some of them, they suffered from genetic disorders, born with disabilities. Some couldn't walk, some couldn't see, some had heart problems. These people were labeled specials. And in this new world, specials were treated like absolute garbage. They were bullied constantly, and if they could find work at all, it was only hard labor and menial jobs. Now we're taken to the Genesis Institute, where these powerful trees are kept and protected. This is where we meet Leon, a guy in a wheelchair who works as a janitor at the institute. With him is a 12-year-old girl named Chloe, who's enrolled as a student there. But here's the twist. Leon and Chloe aren't really there to work or study. They're there to steal. To pull off the heist, Chloe distracts the tour guide, while Leon uses a hacking device to open a secure door. He checks his map to see how many guards are between him and his target. To deal with them, Leon pulls out a tiny remote-controlled mouse from his pocket and sends it down the hallway. The guards think it's a toy, and when they pick it up, boom, the mouse releases sleeping gas, knocking them all out cold. Leon quickly puts on a gas mask and enters the lab. Before arriving, he'd already released gas into the ventilation system, knocking out all the scientists inside. Inside the lab, Leon sees an old watch that his mother gave him, which gives him courage. He pulls out a laser cutter and starts cutting through the glass, protecting the Genesis tree. Then he does it. He breaks off one of the tree's glowing blue flowers. The moment he breaks it off, the tree's defense system activates. Water starts spraying everywhere and security alarms begin blaring throughout the facility. A lockdown countdown begins. But Leon hides in the chaos and manages to slip out. He purposely bumps into Chloe, who cleverly hides the container with the flower inside a teddy bear. During the security check, Chloe hands the teddy bear to the guard to check while she gets patted down. The guard, seeing nothing suspicious, lets her through. Just like that, they walk out of the facility without anyone suspecting they've just pulled off a major theft. Back in their city, they notice that a politician's speech is being broadcast everywhere. Senator Frank was pushing for something called Proposition 42, a new law that would create equality between genetics and specials. He wanted to develop an antidote, a serum that could give adults and specials the same genetic enhancements, curing them of their diseases and weaknesses. The scene cuts to Mira, a famous pop star, who announces that she'll be performing a concert in the poor special district so that everyone can live together in harmony. When Leon hears about the concert, he can't believe it. He thinks rich people and genetics only lie. They don't actually care. The two arrive at their home, a basement workshop filled with plants and gadgets. Chloe is an incredible botanist who uses chemicals to grow exotic fruits and strange vines. Leon is an inventor and scientist who builds prosthetic limbs for disabled specials. He uses the stolen Genesis extract in his gadgets to help specials survive in this harsh world. Late that night, they get a frantic call from a man living in the wealthy Genesis district. He's also disabled and can't walk, relying on a mechanical suit to function. His suit has broken down, and he has a lot of work to do tonight. If anyone finds out he's a special, he'll be fired immediately. Chloe initially apologizes, saying they can't help. But when he offers triple the payment, Leon agrees, despite Chloe warning him that nobody in the Genesis district will treat them well, and they'll get into serious trouble. Leon had already thought of that problem too. They sneak into the elite district through an old tunnel. The chef at the hotel needed Leon and Chloe's help, so he sneaks them in through the back entrance. They immediately get to work repairing the man's mechanical suit. But before they can finish the job, chaos erupts. A violent gang breaks into the restaurant, and it's absolute mayhem. They're destroying everything in sight, terrorizing guests and causing massive damage. These gang members, they were actually normal humans who hated genetics because genetics were treated so well in society. These people were ruthless. They wouldn't think twice about killing someone. They even murder the chef who helped Leon and Chloe get in. The gang tears through the restaurant, and during the chaos, a piece of paper falls from one of them. Chloe quickly picks it up. Suddenly, Leon's suit malfunctions and he crashes into a metal counter. The gang members spot him, and just as they were about to attack, Leon grabs everything nearby and throws it at them. Using the mechanical suit's power, he forces open a back door, and both Leon and Chloe escape. They made it safely home and thought they were in the clear, but they weren't. Hotel security footage had captured images of them both. The anti-genetics gang had been wearing masks, so the police assumed that Leon and Chloe were the gang leaders. Without committing any crime, they'd just become wanted criminals. The news was now showing an interview with the head of the special police force. Leon was shocked to see that this man was the same person who'd led the gang attack at the restaurant yesterday. Looking at the paper Chloe had picked up, they realized it was a list. This gang was planning to assassinate Senator Frank and kidnap pop star Mira during her concert. Their goal? To make sure Proposition 42 failed and that specials would never be given the same status and respect as genetics in this world. Chloe decides they need to stop this conspiracy. It wasn't just about saving the two of them. Proposition 42 could save everyone in their entire special district. But Leon believes that a little girl and a guy who can't walk can't do anything against these people, so he decides to run away. He packs his bags and gets ready to leave the city, but Chloe reminds him of something powerful. She shows him that same watch his mother gave him. His mother had told him that even though he couldn't walk, he could still make a difference in this world. He had a brilliant mind, and that was his real strength. That watch, that reminder of his mother's faith in him, changes everything. Leon decides to stay and fight. The next day, they're ready for the mission. The gang also arrives at the concert, planning to kidnap Mira after the show and create chaos. In the crowd, Leon and Chloe are nowhere to be seen, but as the gang takes Mira down a corridor, Leon suddenly jumps out in his mechanical suit. At first he stumbles, but then he balances himself. The gangsters laugh when they see him. He presses a button on his suit and plants start growing all over it. Chloe's handiwork. The gang members laugh even harder, but then Leon shows them the true power of his suit. Using the vines, he whips the gangsters around. The fruits growing on the vines release gas that blinds them. Just as he's about to escape with Mira, more gangsters arrive. There are too many. Leon can't fight them all. They knock him down and beat him so badly that his suit breaks. With the suit destroyed, Leon's about to die. But at the perfect moment, Chloe arrives with a stolen car, runs over several gang members, pulls Leon and Mira into the vehicle, and speeds away. They make it back to Leon's workshop and lock all the secret doors. They tell Mira the truth, that the people who attacked her weren't random thugs. They were an organized gang trying to stop Proposition 42 and assassinate Senator Frank. Mira joins their plan. She wants to help save the senator. The next day, they disguise themselves as a couple and go to the Family Planning Center, the place where pregnant women receive Genesis flower DNA injections. To distract the staff, Leon asks Mira to sing. While everyone's attention is on her, the gangsters also arrive to complete their mission. Leon rushes towards them and uses acidic syringes built into his suit to spray their masks. All their masks start melting. Then he takes them on one by one. But the police chief, who's also the gang leader and the strongest of them all, is too much for Leon. Once again, Leon takes a brutal beating, and once again his suit breaks. Leon thinks this is it, he's going to die. But at the perfect moment, the senator's guards arrive. They shoot several gang members, and the remaining gangsters flee. The Special Police Force head, who was also the gang leader, manages to hide his true identity and escape as well. Despite Leon having done such a heroic thing in saving the senator's life, the senator's guards start yelling at him, but then the senator himself arrives. Leon freezes for a moment, and here comes the massive twist, the revelation. Leon is the senator's son. When Chloe learns this truth, she's shocked. She feels betrayed, thinking that Leon is also part of the rich elite and genetics crowd. Hurt and crying, she runs away. Meanwhile, the media is going crazy. News spreads everywhere that a disabled person in a wheelchair, saved Senator Frank's life. The senator himself says that this is the biggest proof that specials are no less than genetics and deserve equal rights. After this, Proposition 42 passes with almost unanimous support. The government promises that starting today, specials and genetics are equal. Leon desperately searches for Chloe everywhere but can't find her. Heartbroken, he decides to return to his own district. When Leon arrives, he sees something that brings tears to his eyes. Senator Frank is there in the special district with his entire team. He publicly announces that Leon is his son. Years ago, when Leon was just a baby, he'd suffered from a genetic disorder. The senator and his wife tried everything, spent millions, but nothing worked. Leon remained in a wheelchair. Over time, the senator's wife became bitter. She started blaming Leon for ruining their perfect genetics family image. She couldn't accept having a disabled son. Eventually, she left them both. The senator tried to continue his political career while raising Leon, but it became impossible. Other genetics politicians used Leon's disability against him, constantly reminding him that his own son was a special. Unable to bear the pressure and humiliation, the senator made the hardest decision of his life. He left baby Leon at an orphanage, hoping someone would give him the love and care he deserved. Leon grew up in that orphanage, and later it was Chloe's family who adopted him. They raised him like their own son, giving him the family he'd lost. The senator reveals another shocking truth. The head of the Special Police Force, the one Leon had been fighting, is planning something terrible. He's preparing a massive attack on the Genesis Institute to destroy all the Genesis trees. If those trees are destroyed, the world will plunge back into darkness and radiation. Millions will die. The senator had discovered this conspiracy, which is why the police chief wanted to kill him to silence him forever. Without wasting a second, Leon and Senator Frank rushed to the Genesis Institute. They arrived just in time to see the police chief standing there with a team of heavily armed soldiers. These are his loyal followers, corrupt cops who hate genetics. A massive battle breaks out. The police chief has brought serious firepower, and he's determined to burn everything down. Just when it looks like they're going to lose, Chloe arrives. She'd been hiding in the institute all along, preparing for this exact moment. She activates defense systems Leon had built into the facility. Vines spring to life, wrapping around the corrupt officers. The plants Leon and Chloe had been cultivating release knockout gas. It's chaos, but this time, the good guys are winning. The police chief makes one last desperate attempt. He grabs an explosive device and tries to destroy the main Genesis tree. If he succeeds, the chain reaction will destroy them all. Leon, despite his broken suit and injured body, lunges forward. In a moment of pure courage, he tackles the police chief, and they both crash through a window. Chloe screams, the senator rushes forward, but Leon manages to grab onto a ledge while the police chief falls into the darkness below. They pull Leon to safety. The Genesis trees are saved. The world is saved. In the aftermath, the senator publicly embraces Leon as his son, declaring that he's proud of him, not despite his disability, but because of the incredible person he's become. Chloe and Leon reconcile. She realizes that Leon never wanted the wealth, the privilege. He'd always just wanted to help people like them, the specials who'd been left behind. The movie ends on a mysterious note. Proposition 42 has passed. Specials and genetics are now equal under the law. The corrupt police force has been dismantled. But as the camera pans out, we see Leon and Chloe looking at something off-screen, a new threat emerging in the shadows. What happens next? That's left as a mystery for a potential sequel. And that's where this incredible story ends. What did you think? Could you survive in a world divided like this? Let me know in the comments below. If you loved this breakdown, make sure you subscribed because we've got tons more amazing movie explanations coming your way.